Historically speaking, the racing video game genre is one of the oldest and most innovative of them all. Now sure, it's easy to dismiss racing games after one disappointing release hits shelves, but is this warranted? Have racing games declined in recent times? And if so, what's been the cause? I'm Mark from RacingGames, and today I'm going to determine whether the grass is indeed greener in the past, or if we're all looking back with rose-tinted glasses. It's hard to pinpoint what the consensus is for when racing games were at their peak. However, most people will point to the 6th generation of consoles. This was the time when the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox were the systems of choice. There have been great racing games on the market ever since the first was released just over 50 years ago, but the period between 2000 and 2006 had a lot of classics. There's no doubt that some series such as Need for Speed, Burnout and Gran Turismo were at their absolute peaks during this era, with Need for Speed Most Wanted, Burnout 3 Takedown and Gran Turismo 4 the pinnacles of their respective series. Add in other series like Ridge Racer and even the incredible F1 Championship Edition, and it's easy to see why this period is so revered. But have things actually declined since then, or are we all just looking back with nostalgic fading memories? It's easy to get caught up in nostalgia, but there are many great racing series still going today. F1 Manager made a splash in its debut by introducing a true Formula 1 management game to the market, the first in over 20 years in fact. WRC Generations is also one of the best rally games of all time, with incredibly impressive physics and a wide array of cars and environments to race on. It was certainly a great way for KT Racing to bow out from the series. While F1 22, Gran Turismo 7 and Forza Horizon 5 aren't the best in their respective series, and just because they aren't as good as their predecessors, that doesn't make them bad games. Almost all racing gamers can have fun with these titles, so racing games are far from dead as some people claim. I mean, being able to drive a digital replica of an F1 car, how lucky are we? Need for Speed Unbound even deserves an honourable mention just for trying to shake up the genre after years of mediocrity, even if it hasn't quite hit the heights expected. There are also the games that have been out for years that are still seeing updates today. iRacing and R-Factor 2 have been receiving regular updates and are undisputedly two of the best sims of all time and won't fall out of favour anytime soon. While the AAA titles do understandably take the spotlight, the indie scene is thriving right now. CarX Drift, Hotshot Racing and of course Wreckfest are all titles that would have been impossible to come out of independent developers in the past. We also have upcoming titles like Recreation to look forward to, taking racing in a new direction whilst also harking back to some of our favourite series of the past. Speaking of past series, let's address that elephant in the room, or rather lack of elephants. There are a lot of classic racing series we love playing that are no more, and we do sorely miss them. Burnout Paradise marked the final entry for one of the best arcade racing series of all time when released in 2008. Driver San Francisco reinvented the open world driver series when it launched back in 2012, but this is also the last entry in the series. Midnight Club, Ridge Racer, Blur and Split Second have also sadly long since disappeared. So why did these series get discontinued? The reasons are various, but it's sadly reflective of one of the negative sides of modern gaming. Like a lot of the evils today, it all boils down to money. Video game publishers' number one priority is to make money. If they don't, they go out of business. It's as simple as that. The real issue though lies with how a lot of companies have gone about making this profit, which is rubbing a lot of gamers up the wrong way. Possibly the worst aspect of this chase for profit is that some games are released before being finished, rather than delayed. Companies have deadlines to meet, but it's not uncommon for a half-baked game to be released and then be relentlessly patched over the following year. The game then underperforms as a result, leading to low sales and potential sequels being cancelled. Something that also irks a lot of gamers is the trend of remasters, as it arguably shows a lack of ingenuity on developers' parts. Remakes arguably feed back into the idea that racing games used to be better, which is the total opposite of our argument here. While the price of new video games has increased, it's the microtransactions that have done the real damage for games' reputations. This isn't unique to racing games by any means, but it certainly doesn't help. So back to today's topic. Are racing games worse now? In short, no, they are not. Ultimately, it is hard to argue that racing games are better now than they used to be, but that doesn't mean there aren't some great games out there right now. This won't change anytime soon, but the industry has regressed in multiple regards, and therein lies the biggest issue. the pursuit for perfection and profit has alienated many gamers, to the point that the whole conversation of "this series is dead" has recently become the norm. Gamers now flock to forums to trash new releases, review bombs kill any chance of a game growing in popularity, and the finger of blame is nearly always pointed at overworked developers rather than those really responsible. However, despite the top sim racing games having more complex and technically impressive physics models than ever before, there's a very real argument to be made that many racing games just aren't as fun as they used to be. Some do feel a little sterile, others feel rushed, and some just don't have the wow factor that games of the past did when they first broke through the convention barriers. The only way to truly tell if games of the past are better will come in time. Nostalgia clouds our vision, and today's games haven't had a chance to mature yet. There are also plenty of games to look forward to in the future, including Forza Motorsport, Test Drive Unlimited Solar Crown, and hopefully a new Mario Kart. So right now, let's all just live in the present and enjoy what we have. Do you agree with our thoughts? Why not let us know down in the comments, and be sure to subscribe while you're there. For now though, thanks for watching. I've been Mark from RacingGames, and we'll catch you here on the channel for another video soon.